Before we get started, let me introduce my panel of distinguished gentlemen.
I'm David Springer.
My name is Christopher Greer.
And I'm Denzel, aka Bedroom Voice, right now, so we're good.
And we have a distinguished panel of special guests. Can you introduce yourself, gentlemen?
Oak Summers.
My name is Ricky Skills.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Before we get started on our topics, I would like to discuss something that's been bothering me. Our first thing I want to say is, leave my boy Kevin Hart alone. You know, I've been listening to the news and watching things on Facebook, and everybody wants to make a joke about my man Kevin Hart's height. Kevin, we love you here on the Outlook. We're not going to make fun of your height. It's not your fault that when you were a kid you needed a step ladder to get on the monkey bars. It's not your fault that when you go to a restaurant they give you a bib instead of a napkin. You know, but you know what? I'm going to leave you alone, Kevin. I'm a big fan. All right, our first topic that we want to discuss is, has anyone seen the Chirac trailer?
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at it not the other day, and it was it actually interested me. I thought that the movie was going to be more comical, but Spike Lee is kind of leaving us in suspense about where the movie direction is going, because at the end of the trailer, he seemed to have gotten more serious. Why don't you tell me, what do you think about it?
I think Chicago's mad about the title, the name of the movie, Chirac. Doesn't do Chicago any justice.
What do you think, Chris?
Well, I think that everybody had their own conception of what the movie was going to be about. When you came up with the title of Chirac, you were thinking that, all right, it's going to show, you know, the crime and shooting and, you know, kind of like a violent film. But it's actually like a satire that's based on a Greek tragedy. And so I think that everybody had a different outlook. So once they actually saw the trailer, they weren't expecting what they were expecting, you know.
What do you think, Denzel?
I think I'm really not into it right now. You know, because it seems like they're actually biting off of different stories. You know, I heard Trina has a similar movie that came out 15 years ago. And I recently heard they had like a Greek, they bite off a Greek play, you know, and I don't really like it, but at the same time, it won't do any justice until we see it.
You think it's going to be a positive or a negative thing for Chicago? You think it's going to leave a positive or negative image for the city?
Well, I would say no. I think it's positive. The name is negative, but I think the message is positive, because you know Spike Lee, he's not gonna put out nothing negative. He's not that type of guy, you know. But if you look at the statistics, maybe he's basing it on the statistics, you know, because it's some serious business.
I took a look at this. It's over here we have Chicago. Over here we have war. Chicago, war. And the numbers are just about the same, and that's staggering. The numbers are crazy. But anyway, I would like to ask my distinguished panel of special guests their views on the Chirac trailer.
First of all, Spike Lee, in every movie he did, he always challenged your psyche. You know, he make you think. He used that movie to give you another perception about what's going on with the crime. They using the title, they blowing the title up because it's another smoke screen. You know what I'm saying?
Explain that.
It's a smoke screen. I mean, the title of a movie is more important than finding the killer of a child.
I think that Spike is just trying to motivate the situation.
No,
that
I'm
something
saying
can be
like
done.
I'm saying like the way the city, the way the media is blowing it up. You know what I'm saying? So what he named the Chirac? The media started the name Chirac. You understand what I'm saying? So he's giving you another way to look at it. You got to look at it a different way, because if we keep looking at it the same way, we keep getting the same things.
All right, all right. Well, thank you, sir. Oak, tell me what is your view on the Chirac trailer?
It's a Spike Lee movie. It's no different than Do the Right Thing or School Days as far as how he uses satire. If we're talking the movie, that's one thing. I think the movie is stupid. But if we're talking the title, it's a whole other thing, because I'm from Chicago. I am Chicago. So when I looked at the trailer and all of the gangbangers look like Crips and Bloods from the West Coast, that's not Chicago.
Yep.
When you have a bunch of women saying they're not going to have sex, that's not even realistic. If you have, if you're trying to tell a story, the story is only as good as the character development. And there's nothing realistic about this character development. I don't believe that Nick Cannon is a banger. I don't.
Say it again, brother.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that anything represents Chirac. You know, and Chirac is a name that's been used like maybe 4 or 5 years, probably longer than that. And everybody knows about it. I watch Noriega. He from New York. He talk about Chirac. I listen to the game talk about Man I Come to Chirac. They have like 17 Chirac remixes. Chirac is a worldwide known name. And when you think of Chicago, you think gangsters and Michael Jordan. And there's nothing gangster or Mike about this movie.
All right. Okay. Gentlemen,
I think that roughly, like I said before, it's just a satire and it's entertainment. Everybody, I think, is taking it a little bit too seriously. That's my opinion of it. But, you know, everybody has their particular opinion, you know.
I agree. It's just a movie.
It's just a movie. It's just a movie.
It's just a movie talking about violence in Chicago. You gotta get serious about that. I mean, you know, you gotta think about, I mean, gangs used to have a code. Step out of line, you get checked. Nowadays, it's anybody gangs. I mean, anybody can get down. They imitate. You know, gangs ain't gangs no more. They gangsters. I mean, when you're killing people, killing young boys, that's just ridiculous, I think. You know, you gotta talk about the violence, you gotta talk about the academics, you gotta talk about the economics. There's a lot of things. You gotta talk about family life, family style. I mean, you know, it's just not about Chirac. You gotta go a little bit deeper than that. I mean, you know, just like, I'm not even from Chicago, but I love the city. But my thing is this, you know, I know they closed down a lot of housing projects, and you know, each gang had their own little spot in those projects. So, hey, they scattered out around the city, they fighting for turf, you know, that's just the way it is. It's a war. You know, and war create violence.
now we've had violence in Chicago for years. What makes you think that everyone started paying attention to this situation now? Denzel?
Because it started off with drill music. You know, drill music put Chirac on the map. You know, it wasn't Chicago, it wasn't Chi-Town no more. It was Chirac when the world started paying attention that it's real beef out here. You know, it's like actual people's dying, you know, over rap. There's even more than rap. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than the streets right now.
What part do you think we can do as far as for individuals to help the situation in Chicago with all the deaths?
Everything starts off with parents. You know, it starts at home. You know, you got to pay attention. You got to get on your kids. That's what it's about.
All right. Well, I agree with that, brother. But I'm from Chicago, and I've been on both sides of the fence. You know, like I used to be one of them guys out there in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And I've watched how it changed. I'm 51 years old, and I've seen the streets change. You know, when I was growing up, the parents, the schools, the police, and the guy who called you over who called it over you in the streets, they was all on the same level. They was all on one accord. Because the parents, the teachers related to the parents. The police related to the parents. And the guy who called it for you in that organization, he related to your parents. And your parents told him what was going on. And he dealt with you. The mob dealt with you. That was the order. That was the structure. You see what I'm saying? The police used to come in the neighborhood and talk to you. Look, we know you're in the gang, but don't make me be a police.
Oak, I have to get your perspective. What do you think we can do to, as individuals, to improve things with the violence in Chicago?
Give men money. I'm so sincere. Like when you talk about structure, because I remember structure. I've talked to boys that's 20 years old, and I looked at them and I seriously said, like, yo, your whole life, you ain't never seen a man on top, have you? You just seen a bunch of chicks running a household, going on. You ain't never seen a man on top, have you? He was like, nope. I'm like, man, I looked up to the dudes on top. I remember when they snatched the boys in '96. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it comes down to when you're looking at these murders, you're looking at kids under 20 killing kids under 20. I just got shot last month. I'm still messed up. I'm supposed to be on bed rest right now by a kid about 17 years old, young enough to be my son. You know what I'm saying? And I just refused to die because I was like, really? I ain't fucking. But you know what I'm saying? The whole thing is, these are the babies of the crack babies. You know what I'm saying? So you're looking at poor parenting all the way around. You're looking at grandparents who became foster parents who won't let the kids be around daddy because they the foster check they eating. You know what I'm saying? You got a bunch of situations where it's broken homes, daddy's dead, daddy in jail, daddy abandoned. You know what I'm saying? And you got a bunch of situations where these kids going wild and they bar none, they buck wild because they ain't honoring none because there's no structure. I remember back in the day, I don't know if the parents and the gang leaders was jamming like you said, but a lot of that stuff is true. You know what I'm saying? You looked up to the guys in the streets. The guys in the streets would say, "We get brothers." They would give you structure. You know what I'm saying? You have to respect people. You can't call a man a bitch. It's in your mouth. It's a mouth shot. You can't steal. They're gonna put you in the chicken wing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? I want to talk about some, you know, like what about the code of conduct?
Even with the code of conduct, what people don't
Like
really
the
understand.
Black Panthers, you know. I mean, you know, organization, a group, a gang, a group that actually did something positive
Everything's an
in the
organization.
neighborhood for young black people.
Brother, check this out. Hold on, let me say check this out. Everything's a gang. There's no Greek organization, no Scottish Rite organization, no Boy Scouts. That's not a gang. 5 or more people in a group with the same moniker as a gang. So when you start talking about what street gangs did, tell me any one of them who did what Jeff Ford did. He negotiated with other countries. That is an organization. When you have Larry Hoover, who had Century 21, and he was paying Carol Mosley Braun and paying aldermen and paying police, that's an organization. He's a lobbyist. He's just not on record. So you can't really talk about the difference between a gang and the Black Panthers. But what I can say is this: it was more murders in '95 than it is in 2015. The truth of the matter is, the reason you hear more about it now is because they're trying to gentrify. The same thing they did in the '70s when they dropped movies like Candyman and all that BS, because they were trying to get them boys out Cabrini Green. And you know what I'm saying? They did that same thing right here in Inglewood. Now they call it Chirac. They're gonna do the same thing in Austin after they get Inglewood. They promote what they want to take. But really, the only reason everybody get locked up is because it's more laws. When he talk about, man, y'all was real talk. When he said, man, used to come up and say, don't make me be a police.
And you know what?
Now you got
That's what I say, you gotta come out and vote. You gotta come out and vote somebody. Vote for somebody that's gonna help you gain some. So who you gonna vote for?
I'm gonna vote for who got my money. So what I need to do is get everybody on my block to give me 100, and then we take that. We got.
Well, you need to go out and make sure that the blacks come out and vote
If you don't pay,
this term, because they didn't come out and vote last time.
$10 right now. What's
if you
up?
don't pay them boys, the boys ain't gonna work. I ain't gonna work.
We gotta get you on the campaign, bro.
Okay.
We gotta get you on the campaign because we gotta get everybody to vote this time. You know.
Money is packed.
You know what? If money power, y'all in trouble because Donald Trump is gonna win the election.
Hold on, check this out. Now, I don't know what part of voting plays, but I see it ain't changed nothing. I don't see voting change nothing, bro. In no city, in no state. If anything, it's gotten worse. If anything has gotten worse, I don't care who they put in there. I don't care who they put in there. You know who I want to vote for? I want to vote for the man who got the store up on the corner, who know about struggling, who know what it takes to raise a child, who know what it takes to keep a family together. I want to vote for the lady who's teaching the kids in the school, who actually wants better. That's who I want to vote for. The people that got in there now? No, I can't do that.
Oh, who would you be interested in voting for out of the candidates that we have?
Talking about for president?
For president, yes.
You know what? I like Bernie, man. Feel the burn, man. You know what I'm saying? I like Bernie, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I think he's absolutely nuts. However, Chicago people nuts, so I rock with that, right? So, you know what I'm saying? You're looking at somebody who, he's really a socialist. It's not going to work in a capitalist nation. You know what I'm saying? But at least he doesn't have the ties on his back. Right now, where we're recording at right here in Cookies Lounge, shout out, this is the 17th Ward. Right up the block is Alderman David Moore. Now, 17th Ward Alderman, I've known Dave for 5 years. Dave, I helped Dave in the call center and everything. As soon as we got Dave elected, I ain't never seen nobody disassociate himself from everybody that quick. That motherfucker, the nigga text me, I text somebody, he said, man, call the office. I said, nigga, what? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So you can't really go on that, man. You gotta go on who got the money and the pistols.
All right, Chris. I got to
Well.
Who are you going to vote for, sir?
Well, it's not going to be Dave, but I think that right now I'm still undecided. I'm not going to vote Republican. Definitely not. Because history has shown you that Republicans, they destroy the economy. They don't care about the young people, the old people, the poor people, and things like that. So I won't be voting for them. Now, when it comes to Democrats, I'm still the jury's still out on it. Bernie's kind of old, and just like